Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? I want to show you quickly how to put your artwork inside this frame and then possibly place your whole self at a new location that's appropriate to showing your artwork. Here's a picture of me holding the frame, and I want to unlock this layer, and I'm going to call it original photo, and I'm going to say okay. And then up here I've got my artwork and a picture of a gallery. Right now I just need my artwork. Look how it's locked in here. I'm going to just click and pull this out. So now it's all by itself. Later on I'll do the same thing with the gallery. Right now there's an ugly hole in here showing my body that we want to get rid of. And I'm not quite sure this is going to be the exact same proportion as my frame. So what I'm going to do is create a mat by using one of these selection tools up here. Because my fingers are not covering anything up, I'm going to use the polygonal lasso tool, which will just make straight lines for me. If my fingers are in the way, I'm going to use this magnetic lasso tool, and I'll show you what that's all about. The lasso tool, I don't think our hands are steady enough to be able to make nice straight lines. But let me show you what this magnetic lasso tool does. If I click on the edge and I just drag it, I don't even have to click. You see how, oh, now look what happens. You see how it missed that. So I'm going to go back, and wherever I see there might be a problem, like right there, I'm going to click along that edge manually. Because what this does is, did it again. So I'm hitting the delete key, especially if it made a little box there. It's looking for the high contrast. And you'll see there was no high contrast there, because my shirt and the frame both had dark edges. And I would do that around my fingers. The fingers could be anything delicate like that. You want to click on it. I'm going to go the other way with this. Okay. And I'm going to go back and get the polygonal. And look, this one will make nice straight lines for me. So, you know, one thing, if you want to do something like this, anything that has straight edges, this is the one to go with. And there I have this selected. Now I need to pick a color on the inside that's going to make a nice mat. Right now I have white, which I could use. I may just come over here and just go with a nice light gray color. It could be black, anything, but just not too bright, and maybe tie in a little bit with what your picture is. But neutrals are usually the best, and like I said, it could be white. And now I'm going to look for the bucket tool. Here's the bucket tool, and it shares a spot with the gradient tool. That's why if I want the paint bucket, I hit G, not B. I hit G. Here's the bucket tool, and I have my gray, and oh, what happened? It selected the darkest color in my body because I didn't make a new layer. Now what I am going to do is I'm going to make a copy of my photo layer, Command J. But look at that. Did you see how it copied what my selection was? So that's not necessarily what I want to do. So for now, I'm going to just make a new layer and copy that. Okay, and I'm going to get rid of this. And now, I just want to, for safety's sake, make a new copy that's underneath there. I'm going to shut it off. So now I have my picture there. I'm going to move back to my Move tool, or hit V. And I'm just going to scoot this up a little bit. You see a little bit of it's showing. Or I could have taken my Show Transforms tool and made it a little bit bigger. That's why it's important to have all these things on their own layer. Okay? I could actually just spin this a little bit. I'm being real picky about it because I want that black edge to be the same all the way around, making this just a little bit bigger. And that was up there in my, I hit the V tool, Show Transform Controls. Again, make sure everything looks like this up there. And then I'm going to File, Save As, Frame Photo, Me and My Art, whatever you'd like, as long as it's PSD for now. And I'm going to save this to my desktop. Now I want to get my artwork in there. There's my gallery. Don't need that yet. I want to get my artwork in here. Here it is. You pull that. Now, two ways of doing it. I could just come over here and copy and paste it, which is probably the easiest. I select it, edit, copy, go back on my original, edit, paste. There it is. Okay? Or, let me go back for you. Or, wherever it may be, where'd it go? It's hiding somewhere. There it is. I could just come and drag it in. There it is as well. Sometimes there will be a little icon here that says, or even in the picture, it has a little funky thing here. When that happens, you can right click or you can go up to Layer, Rasterize. Right now it's grayed out and it'll say Smart Object. Do that. I haven't played with smart objects. Don't want us to play with smart objects. Right now we're keeping it simple. Digital art too. Look what's happening here. This doesn't fit. I'm very happy. I got a little bit of a white edge on there. If I wanted to, I could get rid of it with my magic wand tool. You zoom in and show you that. And I could just hit all that white edge. Or I could go select. Where's my select similar? And look, it's picking up everything. So I think I'm not going to do that. I could take that away. I have to be careful though. Maybe I'll come over and just take my eraser and erase just what I need away. I don't want to take away my painting. Do you see? I'm just going to take that away. Or I could just leave everything alone, because I kind of like that little bit of a white edge on there. Okay, but a couple of options I just threw at you. Don't necessarily have to do those. You could recrop this as well and get that out. See how there's a couple different ways of doing everything? But now I want to go back to my move tool here. I'm going to show transform tools, and I'm going to rotate this so that it's in there properly. I'm going to move it down, and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Okay, I don't want to take that away. I can tell it's not the same proportions as my picture, so I want to leave enough of that gray matte showing. Okay, remember, we're trying to make this convincing. But if you notice, look, it's a different thickness all the way around, especially at the top. It's too thin. So what I'm going to do is, up here, edit, transform, skew. And all I'm going to do is, look, I'm going to push that in a little bit there, and I'm going to push that in a little bit there. You see that? It's because my, I must have been holding the thing a little funky. And I'm going to apply that. I'm noticing the same thing on my mat. Do you see here it's not fitting right? I'm trying to make this convincing. Skew. And this is the corner. Let me see if I can pull that and pull it down a little bit. I'm going to pull this one in a little bit. And let's see how that goes. And I could play with my little nudge tools somewhat there. That's not too bad. I'm going to leave that be. And I'm going to save it. Command S. Okay, now I have all these layers here. I do want to make sure that, let me just move my, this is when it's nice to have auto layer select on there. I am looking on, I want to get on here. I'm not happy. My gray matte needs to be just a little bit bigger. See, it's showing the, that's what's convincing, is playing with the specifics like that. I'm going to save it again. There we go. I now want this flowers, my painting, to look like it's on here and in the frame. So it's all one thing. Okay? I'm going to come to Layer, Merge Down. And look what it did. It put my picture on the mat. And you know what? I want this to now go on my copy photo. So I'm going to come up here to Layer, Merge Down, and watch what happens to original photocopy layer. Look, it became part. This is all one thing now. So I have this new picture and I still have my photo, which is why it's always nice to make the copy. Now here's where I noticed some students had a little bit of trouble in selecting the background using not the magic wand tool, but the quick select tool. Could I have used my polygonal lasso tool and actually, not polygonal, but a magnetic, and gone all the way around? Yes. It's a pain in the neck. That's why I'm going to come in here and I'm going to start dragging out. Now, the one thing I found people were not watching, like, look, my hand got taken in. I don't want to select that. So now I'm going to go up here and I'm going to hit minus. And I'm going to pull my hand very carefully out. That's what happens when you go too fast sometime. And I noticed a lot of kids' frames were getting lost. And we had to actually build new frames. All right, I want to look at my hand now. I have to fix my hand. So I went back to plus. I'm just going to push my finger in a little bit. And then I'm going to come down, try and grab as much as I can of these big chunks. Now look what happened. My frame went away. So I have to go to minus. And I have to pull my frame out. And you know what? I'm pretty happy with that, I think. Pull that out. Let me go to plus again, see if I can't just get this little bit to go. You can see it's where it's the same color. And right now, while I have this, I'm going to delete it. Okay? I'm going to delete that right away. And now, let me move this over. I'm going to try and come and quickly do, but go easy. You got to go slow in those little tender areas. You can see my hand got caught over there. So let me pull this out a little bit. While I have that, you know what? Let me get rid of it. Go back to plus, very carefully around my hand. And not to say later I can go over with an eraser and take some of the small spots out. Okay, I got most of that there. You see how I went slowly? Now I'm looking at my, my frame. A little bit of that got taken away. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take the ink dropper and match up the edge color. I'm going to go to the edge there. Look, it's a dark blue, believe it or not. I'm going to get a little skinny hard brush. Hit B. I'm going to zoom in. Remember, we're trying to fool people. I need to be on there. There's B. Oh, my opacity's low. It's very similar to Painter. Okay, that's why I pay attention to things. And I'm just carefully going to touch this up a little bit. Scroll down. Carefully just touch this up a little bit. Slowly, slowly, slowly. That's what helps make these believable. If you didn't go back and fix that, like now while I'm here, the eraser, I'm going to erase that little edge out. Look at how I zoomed in on that as well. I'm going to go to the other side. Here, I need a little bit of an erasing job just to straighten that out. Somewhat, little bit. And I can zoom down. Can I come in and actually paint this? Sure, I'm going to take my dropper tool. We had that in Painter. And just paint that little part in there. That's the attention to details, what makes it. I see I have a little bit of my pants showing here. The background there showing. We're good. I can come back with an eraser later, but that looks pretty good. Now I'm going to get my gallery. Here's my move tool. And I'm just going to drag that in to show you. Look, there it is. But Ms. Wagner, it's too small. And it's in the wrong spot. Where do I want the gallery? Behind everything. So I'm going to drag it behind me. There it is. It's too small right now. So I'm going to get my Show Transform tools. I'm going to hit the Shift key. And I'm going to make it bigger. And this is where I can cut. Look, I actually went off my canvas. Make it a little bigger. And now I can see where I have to do some things. I'm going to hit the Return key and then get rid of that. I kind of like that. I can see where I have some mistakes, where I have to go back here with my eraser tool and erase this line away. I want to come, and I'm going to get a softer brush, though, and I'm going to go along this edge. I don't want to look like I've been cut out with a scissor. I'm actually going to take a little bit bigger brush and just use the edge, which is soft, and go around. I could probably do a better job if I zoom in. My hands look pretty good. But do you see the attention to detail? Now, since I want to do this quickly, there's a little white line around me that I would play with, okay? Not too bad considering. I would play with my head a little bit more. What I want to look at is the lighting in this background and maybe even the lighting of me. Does it look like I belong there? Not really. So I'm on the gallery and I'm just going to play with the brightness contrast. Let me drag this over. If I brighten up the brightness contrast, look, you brighten it up a little bit. I'm going to leave it at that, and I'm going to come over here and me. Look, I hit my layer. I'm going to do the same thing there. I think it's more the picture of me that I have to brighten up just a little bit. Play with the contrast. No, I don't think that's it. Brighten me up. I think it's that background layer, the contrast. Image adjustments, contrast. I'm going to bump down the contrast a little bit. Let's see, what's the difference? What one looks like I fit there? I think I'm going to keep it there. Because we want me to stand out. I'm closer. And now I have my layers. I want to drop all, but in Photoshop, it's not drop all. It's flatten image. Now I still have my photo in there. Watch what's going to happen. Discard hidden layers. That's my original photo. Yes, I don't need it anymore. And here I am. I save it, and I am done. I upload to Google Classroom. I could come and check the size just to make sure where I'm at 11. I could have done that right from the get-go. Could come check the resolution just to make sure. Maybe it'll tighten things up a little bit. I'm at 200. That's pretty good. So I'm very happy. I upload to Google Classroom, get a grade, print out, show my mom that I have work in an art show. Have a great day, you guys.